Hi everybody, welcome back to Goodnight Lighthouse. I'm Miss Dorothy and I'm here to read you another story. And I have another story about our crazy little bunny friend, Betty. You remember my friend Malachi? He wanted us to read a book about Betty Bunny, and we read the one about how she loved chocolate cake, and we found out what a handful she is. Well, tonight we find out some more about her because this book is called Betty Bunny Wants Everything. Betty Bunny wants everything. You can't have everything, but Betty wants everything in the toy store. And she learns a very important lesson about how you cannot have everything you want all the time. It's a good lesson for all of us to learn, so we need to get into this book with Betty Bunny. Are you ready to get inside this book with Miss Dorothy? Good. I need you to sit up and listen up, because here we go.
Betty Bunny Wants Everything. Written by Michael B. Kaplan. Illustrated by Stéphane Jorisch. Betty Bunny was a handful. Well, we know that. We've read about Bunny before, and she is a handful. She knew this because when she was at the mall with her family, strangers came up and told her mother, "Wow, that's one handful." Betty Bunny knew that she must be pretty special for complete strangers to say such nice things about her. And she felt very special shopping at the mall with her mother, brothers, and sister. "Kids," her mother told them, "as a special treat, we are going to the toy store. You can each pick out one toy for yourself. Just one." "I'm going to get a bow and arrow," said Betty Bunny's brother Henry. "I'd better get a bow and arrow too," said her sister Kate, who knew she would soon have to defend herself. I'll just take the cash," said her older brother Bill. Oh my, they all have some interesting plans for what they're going to get at the toy store. Betty Bunny picked out a little stuffed bunny that looked a lot like her. "I like this," she said. "Very nice choices," her mother said, while they all picked their one thing. Then Betty Bunny picked out a fairy princess doll. "And this," she added. She picked out a shake and rattle music set, a techno monster figures pack, an ultra blast rocket, and this and this and this and this, she said. "Betty Bunny," her mother said, "I told you that you could have just one toy." But Betty didn't hear her. She was too busy putting more toys into the cart. A Captain Gizmo detective kit, a spin and art paint set, a slide and splash inflatable pool. She didn't know what any of these things were or what she might do with them, but she knew that she had to have them. The little bunnies pictured on the boxes looked like they were having the most fun ever. Betty Bunny wanted to have the most fun ever. Uh-oh, Betty's not listening. This is for ages 8 and up," Kate said, pointing the detective kit. This is going to be way too messy," Henry said, pointing to the paint set. This is meant for little bunnies who don't cry every time they get wet," Bill said, pointing to the inflatable pool. Her sisters and brothers are telling them why she can't have all those things. But Betty Bunny didn't hear them. She was too busy trying to lift a giant stuffed panda. It was 3 times bigger than she was, but she finally managed to get it balanced on top of the cart, which was now overflowing with toys. This is not a good idea. "Betty Bunny," her mother tried again, "maybe you don't understand. You can't have all these toys." Maybe you don't understand," Betty Bunny said. "I want all these toys." "You can't have everything you want," said Kate. "But I want everything I want," Betty Bunny said. Uh-oh, I think somebody's in for trouble. "You can't be so greedy," said Henry. "Yes, I can," said Betty Bunny, and she put 5 rubber balls into the cart to prove it. "See?" she said proudly. "I think you have a little bit of room left right here," said Bill, pointing to a small space in the cart under the panda's left front leg. "Thanks," said Betty Bunny, and she crammed a yellow dump truck into the space. Uh-oh. "Betty Bunny," her mother tried again, "if we take all these toys home, where would you put them? Your whole bedroom will be filled up with nothing but toys." Betty Bunny thought about what it would be like to live in a room filled up with nothing but toys. The thought made her very happy. She picked up a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle and tossed it onto the giant panda's belly. It was so much fun that she tossed more toys onto the panda's belly, and more and more. Henry said, "You better listen to Mommy." Kate said, "Mommy is very smart, and she knows what best is best." Bill said, "Keep acting crazy. It makes the rest of us look good." Her brothers and sisters are trying to warn her. Betty Bunny's mother said that if Betty Bunny couldn't pick just one toy, then she would get no toys. She paid for the bow and arrows for Henry and Kate, and she gave Bill his cash. Then she scooped Betty Bunny up and started to walk out of the store. Betty Bunny saw the cart filled with her new toys as they walked away, leaving it behind. She started to cry. Then she started to scream. Then she started to kick her legs wildly. "No! Betty is throwing a temper tantrum in the store. That's the worst thing she can do." She cried all the way home. And she was still crying when her father came home from work. "What's the matter with my little bunny?" he asked. "I am the meanest mommy in the whole world," Betty Bunny answered. And she explained about how she had picked out a few very nice toys at the toy store, and her mean, horrible, yucky mommy wouldn't let her have them. She's telling her daddy something that's not true. I don't think this is going to work out well for Betty. Betty Bunny watched her father and walked over and talked to her mother. Betty Bunny hoped that her father was saying, "Stop being so mean and horrible and yucky and give my little bunny all the toys she wants." She tried to listen to what he was saying, but it was hard to hear over the sound of her crying, and she was afraid that if she stopped crying, they would forget how much she really, really wanted those toys. Finally, her mother and father walked over to her. They were smiling. Betty Bunny stopped crying. Her father said, "Betty Bunny, we have an idea." Betty Bunny started crying again. "I don't want an idea," she said through her tears. "I want toys." I don't think Betty's going to get anything. So her mother and father showed her the idea. The whole family went back to the toy store. Betty Bunny's mother gave her some money. "This is your money," she said. "You can spend it on whatever toys you want. But when you run out of money, you can't get any more." Her father explained, "It will help you understand why you can't have everything you want." This is a good idea. They're teaching Bunny that toys cost money, and you can't have everything you want. Betty Bunny looked at her new money. She liked it very much. "But if I use the money to buy toys," she said, "then I won't have the money anymore." "That's the way her money works," said Henry. "You could use some of the money and save some of the money," Kate suggested. "You could just give all the money to me, then you won't have to worry about this very tricky problem," Bill said. Bill's always trying to trick Betty. Betty Bunny made a decision. She saved some of the money and used the rest to buy the little stuffed bunny that looked a lot like her. "I'm going to name her Little Betty," she said. Her father went to stand in line so that Betty could pay for the little bunny. Betty Bunny got out the shopping cart and started to fill it with toys. She put in the Shake and Rattle music set, the Techno Monster Figures pack, and the Ultra Blast rockets. She put in the Captain Gizmo Detective Kit, the Spin Art Paint set, and the Slide and Splash Inflatable Pool. What's she doing? She knows she doesn't have any more money. As she was about to put in the giant stuffed panda, her mother said, "What are you doing? I thought you understood that you can't have everything." "Oh, they're not for me," Betty Bunny said. "Little Benny wants them. And I can't get her to understand that it's just too much. Maybe you can give her some money, too.
Oh, Betty! Is she ever going to learn? She's filling the shopping cart again. You just can't do that. She really needs to learn how to listen and obey. Mom said you can have one toy, and one toy means one toy. And you don't keep getting more, and you don't throw a fit. You know what my favorite part of this book was? When Mom picked her up and carried her out of the store, and she didn't get anything because she was being greedy and throwing a fit. I hope you would never do that. Now, in the end, she learned it's important that you listen and that you can only get what Mom says you can get. And they taught her a good lesson by giving her the money and saying, this is all you get. But listen, you need to remember, you cannot be like Betty Bunny. If Mom takes you to the store and says you can get one thing, then only pick one thing. And if Mom says you can't get anything, then say, okay, maybe next time. Don't scream and yell and throw a fit in the store. That's a terrible thing to do. When my boys were little and they would do that, I did the same exact thing Betty Bunny's mom did. I left my cart, I took them, and we walked out of the store with nothing at all. You don't want that to happen. So listen to Mom and Dad when you go to the store. Don't throw a fit. Don't try to get more than you're supposed to get. And be thankful for what they give you. Mom and Dad work hard so that they can give you nice things. You need to be thankful that they do that. And when they let you have something, be very thankful. And when they say no, it's okay. You'll get something another time. I hope you'll remember that lesson, especially if you have to go to the store tomorrow. Because when you're in that store tomorrow, there's something very, 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 very important I need you to do. Can you guess what it is? Obey, and obey right away. And then come back and see Miss Dorothy, because I'm going to be sitting right here, ready to read another book to you. Bye!
Thanks for reading with Miss Dorothy. I hope you enjoyed this book, and I hope you'll come back soon to read another. What's your favorite book? Drop Miss Dorothy a note and let me know. I'll go find it, and I'll read it to you. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share. I'll see you soon.